Hello, everybody. It's Stephanie, and I bet you can't guess what day it is because I'm dressed up. Sunday, I went to church. It was great, and we got to go to two services. Well, Melinda gives me a ride, and there was no one on the prayer team for second service, so I got to go to two services. Yeah. Okay, I know you guys are excited for me, right? Okay, and I hope you guys had wonderful times at your church. Okay, so the worship song of the day is going to be The Great I Am. And before I get into the message, I want to share about volunteering. So I've become very passionate about like abortion and pro life stuff because I've been seeing all the stuff on Facebook. So I'm a member of the CareNet Facebook page and Save the Storks. So I just really like have a heart to like help out there somehow. So this girl who posted something, I just posted something on Save the Storks, one of their stories about somebody who wanted to get abortion and change their mind, and so she was like, anybody who's passionate about this should like volunteer. And so I was like, what? Because I looked into volunteering at Save the Storks, but they are national. So that person said do that at your local place, and I was like, duh, there has to be a pregnancy center here in Colorado Springs. So I found the place. So I filled out the application already, and here's the reason why I feel like that God like has me like set up to go there, like because so when so I okay, so let me tell you about how I came into the world. My dad Steve, that had Huntington's and bipolar, was very, very abusive, and so my mom tried to leave him, and he found her, and he raped her, and that's how I came into the picture. She got pregnant with me, so she was planning on aborting me, and ended up changing her mind when she found out I was a girl. So that is how I came into the world, and the awesome thing is that the questions in the application are about that kind of situation. So I explained that part, and then also I won't name names, but when I was pregnant with Connor, there were two people. Well, one person who said I should definitely consider all of my options. One of those being abort my baby. And that was a really hard time because I just felt like people should be excited for me about being pregnant, but then people are like kind of judging me because I have Huntington's. It was a really hard time, but I obviously wasn't gonna abort my baby. I wouldn't even think about it because I'm a Christian, and that would be against everything I believe in. And one person, again, not gonna name names, but said I should give Connor up for adoption without even talking to me and Connor's dad, Brian. So it was a really hard time, but because of that, I have okay. I just want to make sure I didn't stop the recording. Got to put my mouse way up there in the corner. Okay, so because that's the exact questions they ask about the application. So I submitted it and waited to hear back from them. But so what I want is volunteer one time a week because I have Mondays and Tuesdays at the rescue mission, but this one would be just on Fridays all day. If they need volunteers, but I didn't know every pregnancy center is in desperate need for volunteers. From what I've picked up on, how to serve and stuff. So you guys can be praying with me, but I'm very excited about that possibility of getting to do that. Okay, so now we can talk about the message. So it's pay it forward. And basically, Greg started with the story of when Jesus was talking, gave that sermon that it was like, hate your mother and your father, and like listed all these things, and then you can follow me. And like how hard that is, like to stand out of the crowd and follow Jesus, when he's calling us at like a really high sacrifice. So, let's see, what you really want costs something, but it's just a matter of if we're willing to pay the price and truly like follow Jesus. Even though, especially with finances, so this part really broke my heart. You guys know it's like I haven't been able to tithe, even though like because I have no extra money. So it's like this thing when Greg talks about like money at that place and how like nobody like something like 30% of people like didn't give or church like last month or something. Anyway, I'm getting the facts wrong, but so and then to find out that only 3% 3% of Jesus followers in the whole world tithe 10%, and that's like I thought like we all knew that that is what Jesus calls us to do. So I was like, oh my, and so in the church even so, and the thing was that even people who don't go to like are seeking, not even Jesus followers, give the same amount. So it's like, oh, so I understand like Greg's like heart with like that when we're called to do so much more. But money is truly the root of all evil, and that is the thing that is causing people to hold on to their money because they're afraid of, not having it or giving it away. So that part like broke my heart because like I was brought up that that's what you're supposed to do. Anyway, but it was a really good message. And so he talked about the movie. So let's see. Okay. Yeah. Followers of Christ dream. Oh, hold on. Followers of Jesus cost. Oh, following Jesus doesn't cost us much. Oh yeah, the people that just like get in by fire insurance, but aren't like actually following Jesus. So sorry if I'm all over the place. Hold on. Surrender and sacrifice. That's what it should really be about. And can't sin, serve God and money. I think I said that. Every meaningful relationship requires trust, and Greg said that, like, with trusting God to give him our money. So what he wants, they're doing like a pay it forward, where it's challenge when they want everybody to like dream big, start small with like just being kind to someone, and pay it forward, like do it because you are grateful and not because it's something that you feel like you need to do. So that's what the challenge is to pay it forward. All right, I think that's everything. All right, what do you guys want first? I'm gonna read this. Save the poem for after this book. All right, and you guys remember we're almost at the end of chapter 11. Love heals through our past mistakes. Uh-oh. Okay, right here. Oops. Oh yeah, and we're talking about the steps of being able to forgive somebody else. I think. Hold on. Oh yeah. So the second step, I'm sure you guys have been paying attention. I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning again. So, but I know you guys, I'm sure, have been paying attention. So anyway, step 2 is, okay, apologize. Sometimes we feel like my mistakes are too big for even a beautiful jar of oil to wipe away. No matter how lavish it is, the lavish oil on this story represent how costly, precious, and messy apologizing and asking forgiveness can be. When we worry that our past mistakes are just too big, changes seem impossible, that is when we most need to gather our precious gifts, retrace our steps, and pour out the oil for the sake of love. That is when we finally remember that love heals is not just the truth reserved for others, it is also a truth for ourselves. Okay. Now the poem. Doom. Okay. And it's titled The Way Back to God. If my days were untroubled and my heart always light, would I seek that fair land where there is no night? If I never grew weary with the weight of my load, sorry, I lost my place. Load. Okay. Would I search for God's peace at the end of the road? If I never knew sickness and never felt pain, would I reach for a hand to help me and sustain? If I walked not with sorrow and lived without loss, would my soul seek sweet solace at the foot of the cross? If all I deserve was mine day by day, would I kneel before God and earnestly pray? If God sent if God sent no winter to freeze me with fear, would I yearn for the warmth of spring every year? I ask myself this, and the answer is plain. If my life were all pleasure, and I never knew pain, I'd seek God less often and need Him much less. If God sought more often in times of distress, for God sought more often in times of distress, and no one knows God or sees Him as plain as those who have met His on the pathway of pain. There we go. Time to pray. All right. Thank you, Jesus, so much for my amazing subscribers. And I ask that this message and these devotionals would just bring hope and joy today, Lord, and that you would just meet everyone watching. Just such a revelation of your incredible love for us. All right, you guys are all caught up, and I will talk when I have more to say. Have a blessed day.